Today we're going to be talking about the NFC South, and honestly, in my opinion at least, the NFC South is one of the most likable divisions in the NFL due to the players they have. I mean, there's some players in this division, like, you just can't hate them. They're like likable players, for example, Drew Brees. Who in the world could hate Drew Brees? You got Julio Jones. Cam Newton, you can't really hate Cam Newton. Luke Kuechly, I mean, who in the world hates Luke Kuechly? You can't hate them. Like, this division has a lot of likable players. Like, unless, obviously, you're in the division, then obviously, if you're a Falcons fan, you'd hate Drew Brees. But, I mean, if you're like, I don't know, a Bears fan and you hate Drew Brees, then you got issues. If you're a Raiders fan and you hate Luke Kuechly, what's your problem? These are just likable players in this division. But now let's get to predicting how these teams are going to do for the 2019 season. I'm going to start off, like always, with the team that I think will come in fourth place. And I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming in fourth place in this division with a 5-11 record. Now, Tampa Bay, they hired Bruce Arians, and, like I was saying, Bruce Arians, I absolutely love Bruce Arians. I wish the Texans would have fired Bill O'Brien and hired Bruce Arians. I think Bruce Arians is one hell of a coach. And if you guys saw the Buccaneers last year, like, they had a deadly offense even with Ryan Fitzpatrick and Jameis Winston. They still had one of the top offenses in the league. And Bruce Arians is considered like this offensive mastermind. I mean, the guy made Carson Palmer look good. Like, his best years came in Arizona with Bruce Arians. So I think Bruce Arians can really take this Buccaneers offense to the next level. And Jameis Winston, let's talk about him for a bit. Jameis Winston, first overall pick from 2016, 2015. The guy hasn't really done much. He's been bad, I guess you could say. Mediocre, if you want to be nice. But if there's one guy that can get the best out of Jameis Winston, and that would be able to, I guess, take Jameis Winston to where he was supposed to be, the guy he was supposed to be, I think it's Bruce Arians. And I mean, they got weapons. O.J. Howard, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Offensively, the Buccaneers really don't have many issues besides maybe a lack of a consistent running back, but for the most part, they'll be good on offense. They'll be able to put up points against anyone. The problem with the Buccaneers comes on the other side of the ball, and that's the defense. The defense is atrocious. Yes, they did draft Devin White, but that's only one guy. One guy can't do it all. Of course, they have, Ndamukong Suh, but Ndamukong Suh is really only replacing Gerald McCoy. So I expect their defense to be bad next year as well. I'm not sure if the Buccaneers will be able to outscore all these other teams, especially teams in their division like the Saints and the Falcons. But I do think the Buccaneers will be a competitive team. Yes, they'll go 5-11, but they'll have a lot of close games that their offense and good coaching by Bruce Arians will keep them in. But other than that, yeah, those are my thoughts on the Buccaneers. 5-11, I think, is around the area they'll land. And coming in third in the division, I got the Carolina Panthers. Now, when it comes to the Panthers, how healthy is Cam Newton? Because earlier in the offseason, there was rumors that the Panthers were planning on shutting down Cam Newton for the season and having him just rest up his shoulder. His shoulder injuries, when it comes to a quarterback, there's something to worry about. Look at Andrew Luck a couple years ago. He sat out a whole year. And especially when it comes to Cam Newton, this guy just, when he runs the ball, when he's scrambling, I guess like a fullback, he lowers his shoulder. I mean, it's understandable, I guess. I mean, the guy's like 6'5", 240 pounds. It's understandable. But as a quarterback, you don't want to do that. As a head coach, I'm pretty sure Ron Rivera doesn't like Cam Newton doing that. And I'm pretty sure Panthers fans don't like when Cam Newton does that either, because that's dangerous, man. Last year was probably Cam's worst year, and it was due to the injury. A lot of people make fun of Cam, say, oh my god, Cam Newton sucks, he's inaccurate. Well, I mean, it's hard to throw a football accurately when your shoulder's falling off, but I just don't know how healthy Cam is. Hopefully he's really 100%, because, you know, they could say he's healthy now, and then he ends up taking a hit from whoever in the game, and then all of a sudden, oh my god, he's not okay. You know, so hopefully he is okay and he's ready to go. Obviously, the Panthers offense runs through Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, you know, one of the better backs in the league, receiving-wise and rushing-wise. You know, his first year in his career, he was just a receiving back, didn't do much in the run game. But this past year, the guy was a dual-threat running back, probably, arguably, the best dual-threat running back in the NFL. They still have Greg Olsen, but Greg Olsen hasn't really been able to stay healthy as of late. So, can you really count on Greg Olsen? Defensively, like I said, Luke Kuechly, a very talented defensive front. I think their biggest issue is in the secondary, but, you know, this team goes as far as Cam goes, honestly. If Cam can stay healthy, not have any issues, maybe the Panthers can make some noise in the NFC South, but other than that, I'm just not too sure how well Cam Newton is doing. So I have the Panthers sitting at 7-9, coming in third in the division. Coming in second in the division, I got the Atlanta Falcons. Now, last year the Falcons, they weren't very good. And because they weren't very good, a lot of people thought Matt Ryan wasn't very good. When in fact, Matt Ryan had a very good season, probably as good as his MVP season from a couple years ago. So if Matt Ryan wasn't the problem, then what was the problem? Simple. O-line and injuries. They had injuries all over that defense. They had injuries at the running back position. You know, Devontae Freeman got hurt. Players on the defense got hurt. And their O-line wasn't good. This year, those injured players come back. They added 2 offensive linemen. And they're still the same team. Like, they didn't really lose anyone. They reached an agreement with Grady Jarrett, like an underrated interior defensive lineman. They didn't lose anyone. They're the same team coming back. Matt Ryan's probably going to have another good season. And I see the Falcons bouncing back, going 10-6, and making it to the playoffs as a 6th seed. I think the Falcons, they're kind of an under-the-radar team right now. I think they're a playoff team. I think they can compete with New Orleans for, you know, the top spot in the division. But the way I see it, I just feel like New Orleans is going to be hungrier. Because, you know, the way last season ended for New Orleans, it was, you know, BS, devastating, heartbreaking. For the second straight year in a row, New Orleans season is cut short in a heartbreaking way. And this time, against the Rams, it was complete BS. At least against Minnesota, it was a mistake a player made. But against the Rams, it was a mistake a referee made. Referee does the right thing. New Orleans is playing in the Super Bowl versus the Patriots, and probably could have even won. We would have gotten Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. And I have these Saints obviously finishing in first place. Not only in this division, I have them finishing in first place in the conference. First round bye, first seed with a 13-3 record. Like I said, I think the Saints team will come out hungry. You know, offensively, they got a really good offensive line. They got Alvin Kamara. You know, what we said earlier about Christian McCaffrey being a dual threat running back, one of the best. The same thing can be said about Alvin Kamara. You got Michael Thomas, who in fact just got paid 5-year deal, $100 million. So he's getting an average of $20 million a year, highest paid wide receiver in the league, and I think it's well deserved. I mean, he's a young guy. It was his turn to get paid, so now he's the highest paid wide receiver in the league. And then on defense, they have Cameron Jordan. They have Marcus Davenport, who I'm expecting to take a huge step forward this year and really help out Cameron Jordan in the trenches. You got Marshawn Lattimore, who is one of the best young corners in the league. So defensively, they have talent. I'm not saying they're going to be, a top-notch defense, but I feel like they'll be average to above average. And when you have Drew Brees and that offense, I think that's enough. I think the Saints are probably the best team in the NFC. Not really in terms of talent, because I think the Eagles are probably the most talented team in the NFC. But I think the Saints, after the way last season ended, I think they're going to come out hungry, looking to just beat up on everyone. And, I believe it's week 2. Come week 2, the Rams better watch out, because these Saints are coming for them. And, yeah, those are my predictions for the NFC South. Be sure to comment down below your own predictions for the NFC South. And, yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.